Hi guys, this is Hirosaki. This story is all about what if Naruto was a Pokémon master wannabe. Naruto is a young trainer who wishes to become a Pokémon master. With his trusty Cyndaquil by his side, can he overcome the challenges he will face and make his dream a reality? Before we start, kindly like and subscribe to this channel and look over the description box for the author of this amazing storyline. Welcome aboard! Chapter 6, Look Underneath the Underneath. The next day, after a little rest at the Pokémon Center, Naruto, who had just finished shining his badges and replacing his Rattata with Heracross, Hinata and their partners stood up to go and get ready to head out for the next town. Kiba and Shino had won their challenge against Shibi yesterday and had already left for the next town/city, and Akatsuchi seemed to disappear. They were about to exit when the television started blaring out annoying, yet catchy music, notifying the viewers about the important news report. Hello Johto region. Anko Madarashi here, and today I'm here to tell you all about the next upcoming contest. Ever since Violet City, we, the Committee for the Johto Region's Contest Association, have come up with the next place for the second contest. The next contest will take place in the largest city in all of Johto, a spectacular mall complex and the renowned bicycle shop and the normal-type Pokémon gym. You've guessed it, Goldenrod City. So hurry on down, up, left, right, wherever you're coming from and attend this event, cause it's only 2 days from now. Anko's image then vanished from the screen as the news cut to a commercial. Well, Hinata-chan, seems you guys have a new contest and right where my next gym battle is gonna take place too. Naruto grinned. Kalava Lava. The volcano Pokémon nudged Eevee and smiled. Eevee's eyes turned into upside down us. VV. So let's go, Naruto said, and the two trainers headed out of the Pokémon Center with their new partners. After they passed the gym towards the passage that led out of Azalea, they were stopped by someone yelling. Oh, I. The two trainers turned along with their partners and blinked as they saw the speeding red blob of a hiker that was Akatsuchi. Akatsuchi panted, clutching his knees. Naruto and Hinata turned to each other. You think he's okay? I think so, the blue-black-haired girl replied. Akatsuchi released a sigh as he regulated his breathing and stood up. You guys weren't gonna leave without me, were you? Akatsuchi asked with a grin. Well, you disappeared, so we didn't think you were coming, Hinata said. Akatsuchi smirked and draped his arms around the preteen. Well, the more the merrier, Naruto grinned as he patted the older man's back. Though, why? Aren't you gonna miss having fun hiking? Oh please, and miss out on the fun you guys seem to have. Besides, I can be useful, and I'd miss Hinata's great back massages, Akatsuchi said. Hinata was suddenly grabbed by Naruto, held protectively as if she were a toy someone wouldn't share. Nah, Hinata-chan's mine and her hands are to only massage my back, Naruto said. Hinata's face turned red at what Naruto said. I am in Naruto-kun's? She blinked as the blood caused her brain to overheat and she fainted. Hinata-chan, Naruto said as he saw his travel companion fall unconscious in his arms. He shook the girl like a rag doll as her arms flailed about like a gasping Magikarp. One hand had extended and nailed Akatsuchi twice on the same cheek, causing him to yelp in pain. Itai! The elder man screamed. Pfft, should have known the dobe was the cause for all this commotion, a deep voice said. Naruto, Akatsuchi, and the two Pokémon turned to see the raven-haired Uchiha standing with his newly evolved Crocodile and Sakura with her Chikorita resting atop her head. Sasuke team, the blonde growled. Crocodile snapped its jaws as it glared at Kalava, who ignited its flames. The two rivals stared each other. You know, I caught some strong new Pokémon in Violet City. I bet I can wipe the floor with you, Sasuke smirked arrogantly. Yeah, show him, Sasuke-kun, Sakura grinned. The leaf Pokémon atop her head simply marveled at Azalea Town scenery. Naruto turned to Hinata and gently shook her this time. Oi, Hinata-chan, the blue Annette's eyes opened as she saw her crush looking down at her. And Naruto-kun? She asked as she stood back up. Yeah, we're gonna be having a slight setback on our way to Goldenrod, Naruto said. Hinata tilted her head in confusion before she looked at where Kalaba and Eevee were staring. Her eyes widened when caught sight of Sasuke and Sakura. Oh, well Jay just beat him quick and then we can be on our way, Hinata said. Sasuke scoffed at Hinata's remark. Please, you really think the dobe can beat me? Hinata nodded. He beat you back in Cherry Grove Sea City, Hinata reminded the Uchiha. The boy stiffened slightly and gritted his teeth. That was luck. Yeah, that was luck, the sometimes annoying Sakura added. Let's see you back that up, Team Naruto said as he and Kalaba took a step forward. How's 3-on-3 sound? Sasuke asked as he and Krakena stared down their rivals. Naruto smirked and made a come motion with his hand. Bring it. Akatsuchi took his place between the two trainers as the acting referee. Alright you two, I want a good, clean battle. No obstructions from the viewers. He looked at both Sakura and Hinata as they looked at their respective crushes. Chikorita and Eevee were busy sitting and watching the battle attentively. Sasuke and Naruto nodded as they each took out a pokeball. Alright, Hajime. Akatsuchi brought his hand down in a chopping motion. Heracross, I choose you. Go Ghastly. Both Pokémon appeared in flashes of white light from the red and white spheres. The Ghost-type Pokémon was a relatively large black orb with 2 white eyes and dots for pupils. Its body was composed of a purple gas of some sort. The Ghost Pokémon seemed to put on an everlasting smile as it looked at the bug/fighting type. Heracross, Aerial Ace. Naruto commanded. Heracross spread its wings and flew into the air. Performing a loop-de-loop at built-up speed and momentum before crashing into Ghastly. The Ghost type wailed in pain before its body began to glow with dark energy. Ghastly, counter with Nightshade. Sasuke commanded. The blast of shadow rocketed from Ghastly's body, slamming into Heracross at close range. The horn Pokémon flipped in midair, skidding along the ground to stop itself. Now use Lick. Ghastly's long tongue extended from its spherical head towards Heracross. Heracross, dodge it and then strike back with Night Slash. Naruto commanded. The bug type quickly rolled into a ball and rolled beneath the extremely long tongue. Once it reached beneath Ghastly, Heracross claws became coated with shadow and performed an uppercut. The powerful super-effective move crashed into the Ghost type, sending it flying through the air. Ghastly, quick hide underground. Ghastly nodded to its trainer and phased through the ground. Heracross and Naruto glared as they watched the ground. Kyuso, its body is as light as air, we can't feel where it will come from. Naruto gritted his teeth as he tried to think of a way to counteract the Ghost type. Gayestly. The Ghost type suddenly appeared beneath the dual-type Pokémon and launched its tongue, wrapping it around Heracross. The tongue raised high into the air before slamming Heracross down on the ground and then smothering it with saliva. Heracross became paralyzed from the variation of a lick attack. Heracross, quick get up. Use Aerial Ace. Naruto commanded. The dual type got up to follow its trainer's command but suddenly froze up as the paralysis began to affect it. Naruto gritted his teeth as Ghastly suddenly surrounded itself with dark energy. Nightshade. Sasuke yelled. The blast of shadow crashed into Heracross, sending the horned Pokémon skidding backwards. Naruto cursed as his Pokémon was bombarded by repeated blasts of shadow energy from the Ghost type before getting an idea. Heracross, use Brick Break on the ground. Heracross' arms glowed white and the bug/fighting Pokémon released cry as it smashed the earth. The earth broke apart as Heracross jumped across the ground and smashed the ground again. Once there were multiple holes in the ground, Heracross' arms stopped glowing. What's Naruto doing? Sakura asked. Hinata shrugged at the Pinkette's question. I really don't know, she replied. Naruto looked at the holes in the earth and nodded in satisfaction before looking back at the ground. Sasuke was still in confusion of his opponent's move, but continued. Ghastly, finish this with one more nightshade. Sasuke yelled. Heracross was panting and that nightshade would have really finished it off, but Naruto looked at the holes in the earth and smirked where he saw little purple vapors seeping through the cracks to Heracross. Heracross left. Heracross to the left, use brick break to smash the ground and then night slash. Naruto commanded. Heracross nodded and went over to the cracked ground and broke a hole in it with brick break, revealing the surprised Ghastly as the ground broke apart. Then Heracross' other arm became coated in shadow and smashed down on the ghost-type Pokémon. Ghastly! The Spectre cried out in pain. Heracross jumped into the ground and slammed another night slash into its opponent before performing an uppercut. The three-hit combo sent Ghastly soaring through the air before falling to the ground unconscious between the two trainers. Heracross panted as it smirked. Heracross! The bug-type cried in victory. Winner, Heracross! Akatsuchi cried out. Naruto cheered as he hugged his newest Pokémon. How did Naruto-kun know where Ghastly was? Hinata asked. Sakura surveyed the area and snapped her fingers in realization. Oh, I get. Naruto had used brick break to open the ground, and since Ghastly is in a gaseous state, sometimes the gas would seep through the cracks, thus allowing Naruto to find Ghastly and win. Guess he's not that much of a baka after all, the Pinkette complimented as she watched Naruto get wrestled to the ground by his Pokémon as it gave him a noogie. You got lucky, Sasuke growled as he returned Ghastly to its ball. He attached the ball back to his belt and pulled out another Pokeball. Let's see you take on this one. Go Zubat. Heracross, you still up for it? Naruto asked. Heracross panted before overlooking itself. It was a bit damaged, but it felt like it still fights. Not wanting to disappoint its trainer, Heracross gave a nod. Alright then, use Aerial Ace. Heracross opened its wings and flew towards the bat. Zubat, use Supersonic. Sasuke commanded. A blast of high-frequency sound waves traversed the air, affecting Heracross, causing it to pause just as it was finishing the loop-de-loop to gain momentum for Aerial Ace. Heracross began to fly around aimlessly. Heracross! Naruto cried out to his Pokémon, but the horn Pokémon fell to the ground. Zubat, finish it. Use Wing Attack. Zubat performed the flying-type move. A streak of color appearing behind it as it flew towards the weakened Pokémon and crashed its wings against Heracross' face. Heracross was badly damaged by the super-effective hit, especially since flying-type moves were super-effective against both of Heracross types. Heracross rolled along the ground before stopping. Heracross, the bug/fighting type, fainted. Naruto frowned. Heracross is unable to battle, Zubat wins it, Akatsuchi announced. You did good, buddy. Take a rest. A red beam flew from Heracross' Pokeball and hit the Pokémon. Heracross vanished into its ball as Naruto returned it to his belt. Naruto looked over Zubat. A flying type, so Mareep, I choose you. The wool Pokémon appeared out of its ball in a flash of light. Sasuke gritted his teeth. Kyuso, if only I had a ground type, the raven-haired boy thought. Mareep, let's end this quick, Thunder Wave. Mareep released a cry as it launched a bolt of blue lightning from its body. The electricity arced through the air. Zubat, dodge and counter with Astonish. Zubat nodded as it performed a barrel roll to avoid the attack before clapping its wings together. A loud clapping sound resounded through the air and as sound waves slammed into Mareep, causing the electric type to flinch. Sasuke smirked. Now use Wing Attack. Sasuke commanded his Pokémon. The bat Pokémon flew through the air and performed a wing strike, ending Mareep skidding backwards. Mareep, you okay? The wool Pokémon shook its head as it got over the flinch and nodded, and it replied. Alright, use Tackle. Pokémon launched itself at Zubat and scored a hit, discombobulating it. Quick Zubat, counter with Supersonic! Sasuke yelled. Zubat's jaws released high-frequency sound waves once more. Mareep turned and froze as the attack struck it. Mareep teetered from side to side as it was confused. Kyuso, Mareep, snap out of it. Use Thundershock! The electric Pokémon teetered around for a while before ramming its head into the ground, thus hurting itself. Ha! Your little Mareep is too confused to listen. Zubat, bite attack! Zubobot! The bat Pokémon cried out its name as it bared its fangs. It bit down on Mareep's wool and pierced through it, sinking the fangs into Mareep's neck and drew a bit of blood before it pulled away. Mareep released a cry of pain from the attack and the 2 holes in its neck leaked the red liquid. Mareep, come on, snap out of it! Naruto yelled. Mareep continued to teeter a bit, use Thundershock! Mareep! Mareep cried as it performed its attack. The bolt of blue lightning flew through the air towards the flying-type Pokémon. Pfft, please, Zubat can easily dodge it, Sasuke said as he smirked at Naruto's stupidity. Naruto smirked. You'd think so, wouldn't you? Naruto asked. Sasuke looked surprised as he watched his Pokémon. Sparks of blue electrical charge surrounded its body. Don't tell me. Yup, Mareep's static ability finally kicked in and now Zubat's down for the count. Naruto said as he made a thumbs-down gesture with his hands. Zubat screeched as it was blasted by the electrical attack, sending it spiraling to the ground. Zubat had fainted. Looks like that's it for Zubat, Akatsuchi commented. Sasuke gritted his teeth as he returned Zubat to its Pokeball. Naruto returned Mareep to the Pokeball as well. Crocodile, let's go! Sasuke said to his starter. Crocodile walked up to the battlefield and snapped its jaws ready to face its opponent. Naruto wondered for a while. Mareep would be perfect, but I want to keep it healthy just in case. Wooper has water absorbability to counter the water moves, but it'll still be vulnerable to bite attack and I haven't really trained it as it needs more experience. Pidgeotto? Naruto thought for a while as he wondered whether or not his rival starter has learned Ice Fang or not. It was a tough decision as Crocodile was Sasuke's strongest Pokémon and it could easily defeat his others and the only one strong enough to match it was. Naruto sighed as he turned to his partner. You up for it, Quilava? Naruto asked. Quilava's crimson eyes stared into Crocodile's own as its flames ignited. Quilava! The volcano Pokémon replied, ready to fight its rival Pokémon. Crocodile smirked as it made a come motion with its claws. And Naruto-kun, what are you doing? Hinata stuttered in surprise. Yeah, Naruto baka. Don't you know fire types are weak against water? Sakura yelled. Naruto ignored the 2 girls as he turned to Akatsuchi. You sure about sending out Quilava? The large hiker asked. Naruto nodded in confirmation. Akatsuchi shrugged. Alright, you're the boss. Crocodile vs. Quilava. Akatsuki threw down his arms, Heijime. Quilava use quick attack. Naruto yelled. Quilava took off like a shot and slammed into Crocodile's stomach, sending the big jaw Pokémon backwards. Crocodile grunted in pain, but stood firm. Alright, Crocodile use water gun. Sasuke said. Quilava, counter with Ember. Both fire and water collided in midair, but the high-pressure water overpowered the miniature fireballs, turning them to steam. Quilava, duck quick. The momentum of the water gun had slowed down due to its collision with the Ember and thus Quilava was able to avoid the attack. However, just as the water ended, Crocodile was suddenly in Quilava's face. Use water gun. With no area to dodge, Quilava was struck by the powerful super effective move. Quilava was sent skidding backwards. Quilava quick attack. Naruto commanded. Kalava quickly countered with a full body charged, slamming into the crocodile-like Pokémon. Kalava then vanished as it used its superior speed to perform a barrage of quick attacks. Croconaw snapped its jaws in anger before turning and firing a water gun. To you left. Sasuke informed his Pokémon. The Big Jaw Pokémon turned to see Kalava running towards it and fired another water gun. Use your speed to swerve around it. Then flame wheel it. Naruto commanded. Kalava nodded and then used the speed from its quick attack to veer to the left and then jumped. Its flames ignited and increased in size. Kalava rolled like a ball as it descended and the flames encased it in an orb of flame. The flame wheel struck home and sent Croconaw flying through the air at an angle. Flip to gain your footing, Croconaw the Big Jaw Pokémon did as it was told and smirked as it landed on its feet. However, as it looked up it was bombarded with a storm of fireballs. Courtesy of Quilava's Ember attack. The water type was not hurt badly, but that wasn't the plan. Ember again! Naruto yelled. The attack struck once more and Croconaw shrugged off the attack, albeit it was painful before opening its mouth. Ice Fong! Sasuke yelled. Why use an ice-type move? Hinata asked. I don't know, maybe he hopes to cool down Quilava's fire, Sakura shrugged. Kalava was bitten and gritted its teeth in pain as the sharp teeth of the Croconaw bit down on its left forelimb. Suddenly the wound was frozen after as the attack froze the entire limb. Right, now that you've slowed down a bit, Croconaw. However, just as Sasuke was about to give a command, Croconaw burst into flames as the burn status from the previous Ember attacks began to affect it. Awesome, my plan worked, Naruto cheered. Don't get so cocky, Dobe. Sasuke smirked, use water gun. Dodge and use flame wheel. The volcano Pokémon avoided the blow, mostly, as it was struck on its hind leg. Kalava panted as it was slightly exhausted, but powered through the pain as its body erupted into flames. The ice on its forelimb melted away and the fire type rolled along the ground and crashed into Croconaw. Now use smokescreen to cover your tracks. Naruto commanded. The black smoke erupted from Quilava's mouth after its collision with the water type, thus obstructing the Big Jaw Pokémon's view. Now quick attack. We don't fall for the same trick twice, Sasuke announced as he remembered the same strategy from when he and Naruto first battled with their new starters. The Big Jaw Pokémon turned and slapped its tail in a 360-degree turn. The tail slapped Quilava's face, sending it skidding through the smoke cloud. Croconaw and Kalava panted as they stared at one another, but Kalava flinched as it fell to the ground. Ava the volcano Pokémon struggled to regain its footing, but fell back down. Quilava! Naruto and Hinata cried out. EV! The evolution Pokémon ran with its trainer towards the fire type. Sakura cheered for Sasuke. Yeah, alright Sasuke-kun. The pink cat cried out. Sasuke smirked as he watched his water type. Good job earning a thumbs up from the water type. Quilava's flames retracted as it was too weak to keep them active. Oi, Dobe, up for round th. Sasuke paused in his call as he watched Croconaw's tired form. The raven-haired Uchiha's eyes seemed to soften. Flashback. Go Umbreon! Sasuke yelled as he stood with the black Pokémon. The evolution of EV ran towards a wild Rattata and blurred from the rat Pokémon's view in a show of speed before slamming into it. The Rattata fainted as Sasuke cheered. Yeah, alright. Sasuke cheered before spying another wild Pokémon. A lone Caterpie. Look Umbreon, another one. How's about another round to make it an even 10? The young 8-year-old asked. Umbreon panted before sitting and shaking its head. What, come on, I'm your trainer. You have to listen to me. Umbreon's crimson eyes turned on Sasuke and the young boy was frozen beneath the intensity of the glare. Sasuke, Sasuke. A voice called out. Sasuke and Umbreon turned before a figure walked out of the tall grass. Sasuke, have you seen? Oh, there you are? Sasuke looked at the boy. He was at least 13 years old and had long black hair held back by a ponytail. He wore a black, high-collared t-shirt with the image of the Uchiha fan on the back and a pair of short pants that extended just past his knees. A pair of socks and dark blue shoes completed the image. Itachi-san, Umbreon won't listen to me. As he saw Umbreon run back to its original trainer, Itachi looked over his Pokémon and shook his head. Sasuke, were you and Umbreon having a little training? The older Uchiha asked. Sasuke nodded with a grin. Yup, we won 9 battles in a row, but now Umbreon won't listen me. Sasuke frowned. Itachi sighed as he waved Sasuke over. The younger boy smiled as he ran over to his brother only to be greeted by the harsh poke to his forehead. Itai the Cry earned a smile from both the older boy and the Pokémon. Listen to me, Sasuke, Itachi said in a serious tone, you must not overwork your Pokémon. They will not like you after that. I know you will grow to be a strong trainer with strong Pokémon, but if you work your Pokémon too hard they will stop listening to you. Alright? Okay, Itachi and Sasuke nodded before grabbing his older brother's hand. Nisan, can you show me how to throw a Pokeball properly again? Maybe later. End flashback. Sasuke sighed at the memory as he saw Krakena panting hard. We'll call it a draw, Sasuke said without emotion. Naruto looked up at that. Huh? The blonde asked. Yeah, Krakena wouldn't be wasting its time fighting your Mareep knowing it would beat it, that and it's pretty worn out just like your Pokémon. It's a draw, Sasuke said as he and Krakena headed to the Pokémon Center. Naruto blinked as he and Kalava looked at each other before running after Sasuke towards the Pokémon Center. So that makes 1 win, and 1 draw, Naruto said before grinning. You have 1 loss and 1 draw. I'm better than you. Sasuke scoffed, shut up, Dobe. After the two healed their Pokémon, Sasuke and Sakura headed towards the passage leading outside of Azalea. Bye, Hinata. Naruto, don't be too much of a baka. Naruto sweat dropped at that and waved goodbye to his friend. He had really taken her words to heart during the Violet City contest and now only saw her as a friend. Once the 2 trainers left, Akatsuchi, Hinata and Naruto turned to see Kurt walking out of his house. Oi, what was all that racket? Oh, it was you, Gaki. The Pokeball maker waved the boy over. Naruto and his friends walked over and saw Kurt open the door. Hold on a second there, the old man said as he walked over to a small table. Kurt then took up something from the table. Naruto, Akatsuchi and Hinata looked as Kurt revealed 3 different Pokeballs within his hands. One was a ball with the top half colored pink and had a dark pink heart outlined in silver imprinted on the ball. The second one was like a regular Pokeball, red and white, only on either side on it were 2 yellow circles and in the middle of the red half was a yellow pattern that looked similar to a lightning bolt. The third ball was a larger Pokeball, with its top half being a dark gray color. There were 4 orbs of some kind embedded into it, 2 of them being larger than the other 2. These are the Pokeballs I made for you all using the apricorns you guys gave me. The pink one is called the Love Ball, which is good for catching Pokemon which are of the opposite gender to the Pokemon you are using to battle the wild Pokemon. This yellow patterned one is called the Fast Ball, which is used to catch Pokemon that rather fast such as Dodrio, Doduo and Yanma. The gray one is a heavy ball which is used to catch heavyweight Pokemon like Gyarados and Graveler, Kurt explained. I'll take the Love Ball, Hinata said. Fast for me, Naruto said. Guess that leaves me with the heavy ball, Akatsuchi said as he put away the large Pokeball in his bag like his friends. Kurt nodded before walking away and walking back into his house. If you ever need me to make another Pokeball, you know where to find me, Kurt said. Arigato, Kurtjiji. Naruto bowed before he was hit on the head. I'm not old. Kurt yelled as he huffed and walked back into the small house. The 3 then headed through the passage and left. Ilex Forest. The group observed the area as they crossed over into what seemed to be a deeply forested area.
Hey, Hinata-chan. Where are we? Naruto asked.
Hinata pulled out her map and looked over it as she looked near the area showing Azalea Town.
It seems we're in the Ilex forest. Oh, once we get out of here, we'll be on Route 34-inch Hinata, informed the blonde. Akatsuchi nodded before seeing something speeding through the grass. Did you guys see that? The large man asked. Naruto and Hinata turned. See what?
The black blur suddenly raced in front of them, causing Naruto and Hinata to grip each other in fright.
Eek! Naruto and Hinata squeaked.
Hinata blushed as she realized how close she was to the blonde. The blur suddenly stopped running before turning and facing them. It looked like a brown and white feathered duck of some kind, only much taller. In its wing was a white reed that was tipped green. Farfetch'd the Pokémon squawked before running away. A panting sound was heard behind everyone as they saw a man dressed in a fighting gi like what one wears when they do karate, except it was all black. Though from the soot that was already covering his face and hands or whether that was the clothing's natural color, the three trainers couldn't tell.
Pantweezo fuck.
Damn that Farfetch'd, only running away, the man cursed.
Excuse me, was that your Farfetch'd? Hinata asked. The man nodded. Hi.
By the way, named Sumi, I'm the charcoal maker in Azalea Town, Sumi said as he took a cloth from his pocket and wiped his face.
So, Sumi, Akatsuchi started, why is your Farfetch'd only running away?
Because it's so goddamn lazy, Sumi huffed, damn bird.
We'll help you catch it if you want, Naruto suggested. Sumi looked confused. Really?
The trio, Kalava and Eevee nodded.
Arigato, now just a little head up.
Be sure to sneak up behind Farfetch'd. Once it sees you, it would start running like a mad toros.
Hi, the three replied. The three trainers and two Pokémon headed off in the direction Farfetch'd went.
They then paused, hiding behind a tree, as they spotted the reed-carrying Pokémon.
Alright, Kalava and Naruto will go and sneak up behind it.
If it sees them, me, Eevee and Hinata, you guys circle around as this area of the forest seems to be a bit enclosed, so you'll be able to head it off, Akatsuchi explained.
The two preteens and their Pokémon nodded as they put the plan into motion. The blonde and his starter carefully tiptoed towards the Pokémon.
That's it, nice and slow, Naruto thought, keep poking the ground with your little stick, gotcha. Naruto and Kalava leaped, but Farfetch'd spun and raised it reed and whacked both trainer and Pokémon in their faces with a dreaded fury attack before running off.
Akatsuchi, Hinata-chan, it's coming your way.
Naruto called out to his friends. The two other trainers nodded.
Alright, Hinata, slow it down with Eevee, Akatsuchi said as he threw out a Pokeball. Come on, Geodude.
The floating rock Pokémon clenched its fists as it released a cry of Geodude. Alright, Geodude, I need you to use your arms to hold down that Farfetch'd if it gets past Eevee and Hinata, Akatsuchi informed his Pokémon. The floating imperfect sphere with arms nodded as it turned its eyes onto the squawking Farfetch'd.
Eevee, quick, use sand attack to blind it.
Eevee swept up the dirt on the ground and kicked up a large amount of dust, blinding the bird Pokémon. But Farfetch'd jumped and flapped its wings. The truth was Farfetch'd could fly, it's just that they can't fly well. As a result, the bird Pokémon came crashing to the ground before it was enveloped in a bear hug by Geodude.
Farfetch'd far.
The reed Pokémon pecked at the rock type, but it did no damage due to Geodude's tough exterior.
The rock type levitated towards Sumi, Farfetch'd in hand along with the other trainers, Kalava and Eevee. Sumi thanked the three and then reached into his pocket.
Here, I only have one right now, but as thanks for getting me Farfetch'd, I have a piece of charcoal for you. It's a hold item to be used by fire types as it increases the strength of all fire type moves of the holder, Sumi explained as he handed it to Naruto.
The charcoal was a black piece of rock and Naruto handed it to the volcano Pokémon. Kalava sniffed the charcoal briquette before sneezing.
So how exactly does this charcoal thing work?
Does Kalava eat it or?
Sumi thought for a while.
Nah, I don't think so.
From what I've heard, when the charcoal is worn, the charcoal dust is spread over the Pokemon's skin and then seeps through its pores and goes through the capillaries and flows through the bloodstream where the blood cells excrete the dust as excreted food in the Pokemon's stomach. This dust is then transferred from the stomach to the area of the Pokemon where its fire is produced, Sumi explained. Of course, it's a natural process for fire-type Pokemon, I guess, cause I haven't it happen to any other types. Naruto nodded as he looked at the charcoal, hanging by a tough leather cord.
Naruto placed the makeshift necklace around his partner's neck and smirked.
It suits you, he compliments, causing Kalava to smile.
Oh, and almost forgot. Sumi reached into his pants pocket and pulled out a small disc. Hinata took it and read the engraving on it. HM01, cut. A hidden move disc? Hinata exclaimed.
Yeah, that's cut. It's a move used to chop down small trees like that one over there, Sumi said as he pointed over to the small tree in front of them. An old buddy of mine knew the captain of the S.S. in Vermilion City who owned this HM. After he taught it to his Pokemon, he gave it to me, Sumi said as he grabbed Farfetch'd, who had given up on running. After all, this was its 134th time being caught. See ya. Sumi waved goodbye to the three trainers before walking off with the flying type. Hinata looked at the HM in her hand before going through her team as she wondered which Pokemon to teach the move to. She took out a Pokeball and opened it. Out came Cyndaquil in a flash of white light.
Cyndaquil?
The scout Pokemon looked around before looking up at its trainer. Cyndaquil, the Pokemon waved.
Hinata smiled and held up the disc and placed it in the Pokédex's built-in disk drive. Once the disk drive was closed, the Pokédex spoke. You would like to use the move cut? Hinata clicked the yes option that appeared on the screen using the directional pad.
Pokemon have the memory capacity to know only 4 moves.
Choose a move you would like Cyndaquil to forget for cut.
Cyndaquil's current attacks were Scratch, Fury Swipes, Quick Attack and Defense Curl. Hinata thought for a while before removing Scratch from her Pokemon's move list. The Pokédex beeped and then released a blue beam that delved deep into the memory area of the brain where Pokemon stored their battle moves. The beam removed Foresight from the memory cells and replaced it with the ability for Cyndaquil to use the HM. Alright, Cyndaquil, use cut on that small tree over there. Hinata pointed at the little tree blocking the path up ahead.
Cyndaquil nodded before rushing towards the tree and jumped.
Its paws suddenly glowed as its claws appeared and they lengthened. The sharp claws slashed straight through the tree like it were paper and the small piece of greenery fell to the ground as timber.
Cyndaquil, the normal type, smiled at its accomplishment before turning to its trainer.
Hinata nodded in acknowledgement. And nice job, returned, she said as the Pokeball released a red beam that sent the small Pokemon back to its ball. The group walked through the space in the trees, but stopped suddenly when they saw a small little house made of wood. It was white on the bottom with 2 small wooden doors with a red roof of red tiles that looked like an old Japanese dojo building, only much, much smaller.
What's this? Naruto asked. Hinata went into her bag and took out the guidebook before going through the section of Ilex Forest. As she was looking through the page, there was a shining green light behind them. Kalava and Eevee noticed the light as their trainers and Akatsuchi were looking at the guidebook. Kalava and Eevee looked at each other and then back at where the light was coming from before it died down. Quill Kalava!
The volcano Pokemon called out, tugging at its trainer's pant leg. Not now, Kalava, Naruto grumbled, causing Kalava to narrow its eyes before plopping down on the grass with Eevee. Suddenly a small fairy-like creature, a Pokemon most likely, floated above their heads. Its head was shaped like a bulb, light green with a dark green tip. Its body was entirely green, the light green color like its head, extended down to its chest and arms, while from the middle of its chest down to its legs, it was a dark green color.
Deep blue eyes observed the humans as the Pokemon fluttered its wings to remain airborne. Kalava and Eevee looked up at their trainers, but their eyes widened in shock as they saw the small green Pokemon.
Bye-bye, the small little Pokemon whispered, causing everyone to jump in surprise. They looked up, but they saw nothing.
Did anyone else hear that? Naruto asked.
Hinata, Akatsuchi, Kalaba, and Eevee all nodded.
Think it was a ghost? Akatsuchi asked. Naruto immediately cowered behind Hinata.
A GGG ghost, he stuttered.
Hinata looked around before declaring there was nothing there. Anyways, this appears to be the Ilex shrine.
A small shrine built to worship a Pokémon said to be able to travel through tea-time stream known as
Shalebi. Everyone looked up from the guidebook and looked to see two girls wearing matching red kimono dresses, but with different patterns.
The dresses were patterned with the images of the sky and sea. The girl wearing a dress with the sky pattern had an image of a golden bird that was flying through the clouds, and the girl who wore the kimono with the pattern of the sea, there was the image of a silver-colored vulture-looking creature. The two creatures looked very majestic.
Who are you? Hinata asked.
The kimono girls bowed.
We are just wanderers who walks through the Johto region.
We are also looking for our lost sisters. There are 10 of us and we were all separated from each other in our travels during a storm, one kimono girl said.
So, what's this talk about a celibi? Naruto asked.
The two older women chuckled at the blonde's mispronunciation.
We will tell you, if you help out of this forest, the two women said.
The group nodded and walked through the forest. The forest was rather small and there was a cleared path that led towards the exit. Along the way Naruto picked up a few items such as a revive, which would become useful in his battles, a potion and a lost TM12, taunt. Hinata had also used her old rod to fish in the small pond and managed to catch a Poliwag to register its information in the Pokédex as the Pokeball was transported to Professor Irika's lab, where it would be released into his large backyard until it was to be called upon.
Poliwag, the tadpole Pokémon. A water-type Pokémon.
The direction of its belly spiral differs by area.
The equator is thought to have an effect on this.
After about half an hour later, as the trainers had stopped for a while to battle the wild Pokémon in the forest, they found their way out of the forest.
The two kimono girls thanked the three trainers. Domo arigato, they said with simultaneous bows.
Yes, so don't forget you're part of the deal, Akatsuchi said. The two crimson kimono-clad girls nodded.
Hi, while Shalebi, not celibi.
The first kimono girl began, giggling as she recalled Naruto's word for Shalebi, causing Naruto to scratch the back of his head in embarrassment.
It is the Pokémon that watches over the time stream.
It guards this forest and leads those who it deems worthy through the time stream to see a glimpse of their distant future. Of course, it is a legendary Pokémon for a reason. It is rarely seen and some have claimed to have seen the time-traveling Pokémon, but of course no one believed them, the other kimono girl said.
Out Hinata gaped.
I'll say, a Pokémon that can travel through time.
That's frickin' unreal, Akatsuchi added.
The group exited through the passage to Route 34.
Route 34. Arigato for your help, the first kimono girl said.
Then she and her sister walked away.
Naruto and Hinata looked up the road and smirked as they saw the towering buildings of Goldenrod City's skyscrapers.
We're almost there, just up this route, Akatsuchi said.
Yup, and then it'll be time to start my next gym battle, Naruto whooped.
And my next contest, Hinata twiddled her fingers nervously at the prospect of going up in another contest.
Suddenly a voice appeared behind the trio and their Pokémon. So, you're a trainer aiming for the Pokémon League, huh? Aha!
The trio and the two Pokémon yelled in surprise, causing the owner of the new voice to go flying back, anime style, from the volume.
Did you guys have to scream so loudly?
The man asked as he rose up from his spot on the ground. The two novice trainers and hiker turned to see a tall man, around 6 feet in height, rise up from the ground. He had a mop of gravity-defying, silver hair and wore a dark blue band of some sort that was tilted at angle so it covered his left eye.
He wore a long-sleeved, navy blue turtleneck with a matching pair of pants.
He wore a large green vest which had many pockets over the shirt and wore a pair of black sneakers. And the strangest part of this man's outfit, was the weird mask he wore to cover the lower half of his face that seemed to extend upwards from the neck of his turtleneck.
"Who are you?" "Who, me?" the man asked. Naruto's sweat dropped.
"No, the Jengar floating behind you," Naruto drawled, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "Besides, what the hell is wrong with you, sneaking up on people you don't even know?" The silver-haired man chuckled nervously. "Sorry, I was interested when you said you were going to challenge the league," the silver-haired man said.
Naruto grinned his trademark foxy grin. "Hell yeah, and I'm gonna win it too. Me and Kalaba are gonna defeat every trainer we face. We haven't even lost yet.
The closest we came to losing was when we were fighting Sasuke, but it came out as a draw," Naruto said. The man nodded as he scratched his head and took out a small orange book.
Akatsuchi's eyes widened.
"Where did you get that?"
he asked. The man looked up from the book and pointed at it. "Oh, this, I got it from a bookstore. I love the Ika Ika series."
"Me too, I have all the first 3 volumes." The man and Akatsuchi suddenly began chatting about the weird little orange book, or at least that's what the Uzumaki and Hyuga had dubbed the piece of literature.
"Anyways," the man said as he ended the short talk with the hiker, named Kakashi Hatake. "So, how's about a battle against the future champion of Johto?"
Naruto grinned as he looked at Kalaba.
The volcano Pokemon's eyes burned with battle lust.
Kakashi then looked at Hinata and saw her EV jumping up and down.
"Actually, how's about a double battle?
One of my Pokemon versus your Kalaba and the girl's EV," Kakashi said.
Naruto looked at Hinata for confirmation.
The pale-eyed girl thought about it, but nodded when she saw how hyper her partner Pokemon was.
"Alright, let's go," Kakashi said as he threw a Pokeball into the air. In a flash of white light, the Pokeball opened and released the Pokemon. It looked like a large black dog with an orange muzzle.
It had 3 arcs of what looked like bone placed across its back.
2 curved horns protruded out of its skull and its crimson eyes shone in its sockets.
Its long tail, tipped with what looked like an arrow head shape, swished behind it. "Houndoom, take it easy on them," Kakashi said as he began to read his book.
The demon hound-like Pokemon barked in response before rising to its full height. Naruto and Hinata looked over the Pokemon. Houndoom. Dark/Fire-type Pokemon.
Abilities are Early Bird, which allows it to wake up quickly when it falls asleep, and Flash Fire, thus it nullifies my Fire-type moves. Naruto gritted his teeth. Why did so many Pokemon have to know Flash Fire, though he probably forgot he only faced one?
That one being Akamaru, Kiba's Growlive. Nasty plot, Kakashi said. Houndoom suddenly gained a calculating look and a large grin spread across its face. "Kalaba, quick attack!" Naruto commanded. The volcano Pokemon rushed the dual-type Pokemon, but the horned canine released a torrent of flames from its jaws. The flamethrower attack crashed into Kalaba, sending it back. Luckily, due to Quilava's non-flammable fur, Kalava didn't sustain much damage. Eevee used Sand Attack to blind it, then use Quick Attack. Hinata commanded.
The normal type swiped its tail against the dust, causing the sand to rise up and get in Houndoom's eyes.
The canine blinked and rubbed its eyes with its paws before it was suddenly hit in the face from the evolution Pokemon's ramming into it. Kalava, use Quick Attack too. Naruto commanded.
It was his only available, non-fire-type move besides Smokescreen, and that wouldn't have done much. The volcano Pokemon raced towards the Houndoom and slammed into its side.
Flamethrower, Kakashi said lazily.
The Hound glared at its trainer as if saying, "Lazy-ass bastard, can't even look up from his porn to watch the Gakis," before turning back and releasing the torrent of flames from its jaws. The attack raced towards the 2 Pokemon, but Kalava quickly tucked into a ball.
Flames ignited.
Use Flame Wheel to take on the fire, Naruto said.
Kalava began to roll like a ball as it was encased in fire. The volcano Pokemon crashed into the more powerful fire-type move and began to push back as the flamethrower added to that of the flame wheels.
Eevee then rushed towards Houndoom as its partner held off the flamethrower.
Eevee, tackle! V.
The evolution Pokémon rushed towards the dark type and jumped into the air for an aerial strike.
However, as EV jumped into the air and slammed against Houndoom's body.
The larger Pokémon, however, shrugged off the attack by ending the flamethrower and striking with its left paw. EV was sent flying back, but flipped in midair to land on its feet.
Kalava, whose force of resistance had ended, raced towards Houndoom as it still had its flame wheel active.
Kalava, stop!
Naruto called out.
The Pokémon continued to roll however and crashed into Houndoom. The Flash Fire ability suddenly came to life and Kalava's flames were absorbed into Houndoom's body.
Alright Houndoom, Dark Pulse,
Kakashi said as he closed his book.
Houndoom nodded and released a howl.
Dark energy built up in its jaws before being released as a large wave of darkness.
Kalava and EV were struck by the powerful attack and sent flying. The Dark Pulse WW was so strong Hinata marveled at the canine Pokémon. Kalava and EV gritted their teeth as they tried to stand, but failed. Not bad. Blondie, keep notice of the consequences of your moves.
You forgot that once the force of flamethrower stopped created a resisting force, that Kalava's flame wheel would begin to move too fast for it to stop. Also, this left you and your partner wide open for a counterattack, so try to come up with counter strategies once your original ones don't work out.
And you, Pale Eyes, same thing goes for you, try to come up with counters for your EV to use. Also, EV could use some work in terms of technique.
It's too slow at this stage, so make sure it evolves into something that will be useful for your team. You guys got heart, and you have tactic. Both are good qualities in a trainer. But remember that you need to be careful of how you plan things out in a battle. In some cases, a good plan can be the difference between life and death. Kakashi touched his covered eye before returning Houndoom to its Pokeball. Kakashi then began to walk off and Naruto and Hinata stood there looking at their downed Pokemon. Remember to look underneath, Kakashi said as he walked off. Kyuso the blonde cursed as he punched the ground and glared at the retreating back of the silver-haired man. Come on you two, we'll rest up at the Goldenrod City Pokemon Center once we get there, Akatsuchi advised.
Naruto and Hinata didn't answer, but nodded as they rose. They sprayed their Pokemon with a few potions to heal them.
I can't believe we lost, Naruto said. Naruto, you're a strong trainer, but remember you're still young. You have a lot to learn and also, you're not invincible. There will be times where you will lose, so don't take it too hard, Akatsuchi said.
Naruto nodded as he and Hinata walked off with Kalava and EV. Akatsuchi sighed as he looked off to the east. I wonder if Inoki saw me like this when I was young.
The hiker asked himself as he remembered his old mentor. Once the trio walked for a few more miles, they came to the front of a small house. In front of the house was a large sign saying, Pokemon Daycare. We take care of your Pokemon and make them stronger, for a price. The last 3 words were in fine print. Naruto and Hinata looked at the image of the Pokemon egg as the daycare's mascot and were about to continue onward when they felt their backpacks jump.
Ha! The 2 novice trainers looked confused as they felt their backpacks jump again. Akatsuchi, is it just me or does my bag look like it's jumping? Naruto asked the red-clad hiker.
The large male nodded.
Yeah, I think so, Akatsuchi said. Naruto and Hinata's eyes widened as they opened their backpacks.
Eevee, Kalava and Akatsuchi gathered around the 2 trainers as they pulled out the Pokemon eggs they had each gotten from Professor Iraka.
And then Naruto-kun, I think they're
hatching, Naruto said with glee as he and Hinata opened the cylindrical cases for their Pokemon eggs. They held their eggs as they continued to jump and suddenly their shells burst open at the top. The shell pieces falling to earth like leaves in the wind.
Hinata's Pokemon was a small egg-like Pokemon.
It had cream-colored skin as its head was similar to that of a spike's egg shells. Also, it seemed the Pokemon could retract its body and form an egg shape as that was how it had looked before it had spread its limbs. Its entire body, minus its head, hands and feet were colored the same way as the egg it was.
A darker cream color with red and blue triangular-shaped markings all over it. Its dark black eyes blinked before the baby Pokémon looked up at Hinata. Togeprithie. The small egg Pokémon released its cry with glee. Hinata took out her lavender-colored Pokédex as it beeped. Togepi, the spike ball Pokémon. A normal-type Pokémon.
The shell seems to be filled with joy. It is said that it will share good luck when treated kindly. The Togepi was a male shown to be at level 5 with its known attacks being only Charm and Growl. Naruto's Pokémon had slithered its way out of the eggshell and snaked its way around his arm before resting its large head on the boy's shoulder. The Pokémon was rather long for a baby Pokémon. Its body was a pale blue with a white underbelly. It had a large, white, oval-shaped nose and a single white dot in the center of its forehead. 2 white fins of some sort grew out from the sides of its head and looked like they were wings as the Pokémon flapped them. Its deep brown eyes blinked as it stared at the blonde sapphire orbs. Drea Atini. The Pokémon squealed as it nuzzled Naruto. The blonde chuckled as he heard his Pokédex beep. He withdrew his bright orange Pokédex and reviewed the information on it. Dratini, the dragon Pokémon. A dragon-type Pokémon. Naruto rolled his eyes. No duh, it's dragon-type if it's called the dragon Pokémon. It is born large to start with. It repeatedly sheds its skin as it steadily grows longer. Dratini was also shown to be a male at level 5 upon the Pokédex's scan of it. Its known attack were Wrap and Twister. Naruto and Hinata looked at their new baby Pokémon before Naruto whipped out his Pokegear and dialed Professor Irika's number. He put the Pokegear on speaker mode as the young, scar-nosed professor answered. Hello, Professor Irika Umano speaking. Professor, it's me Naruto. The blonde yelled. I'm here too, Professor Hinata notified the man. Irika chuckled at the two. Hey you two, nice to hear from you again. What's with the all excitement? Did Naruto finally stop eating ramen? Irika asked, causing Naruto to gasp. I am hurt, Professor. To think you would think such a thing, the blonde said, causing those hearing it to laugh. So, what did you call me for? Irika asked. Oh, right, Professor, our eggs hatched. I got a Pokémon called Dratini and Hinata-chan got some weird-looking egg thing. It's called Togepi, Naruto-kun. Hinata giggled. Ah, well done you two. I knew I could have counted on you two to hatch those eggs, and it only took you guys nearly a week. Irika smiled from his end of the Pokegear. Well, since Dratini and Togepi aren't in Pokeballs, I cannot receive them, but unless you guys want to keep them for your journeys, that is quite fine with me. But just remember to send me a Pokémon so that you only have 6 Pokémon on your person. Alright Professor, Johnny, they said. Johnny, oh, and Hinata, good job on the stuttering thing. I can finally understand you, Irika joked, causing Naruto, Akatsuchi, Kalaba, and Eevee to snicker as Hinata blushed. Arigato, she stuttered. Irika then hung up and Naruto put away his dark blue Pokegear in his vest pocket. Yada! Naruto cheered as he hugged his snuggling baby dragon type. With Dratini on my team, nothing's gonna stop us from winning the Silver Conference. Yeah, but Naruto, remember, it's just a baby, Akatsuchi reminded the blonde. Naruto smirked. So what, Dratini's strong already. Isn't that white-whittled Dwatini? Naruto coddled the little thing, causing it to release a cry Drea in response to its parent. Togi Togepirai Togepi waved to Dratini, who waved back with its tail. Quill, Kalava Lava. EVV. Oh, you guys wanna see them too? After a bit of playing with the new baby Pokémon, the two preteens, their starters, and their newest team members headed off towards Goldenrod City and to Naruto's next gym battle and Hinata's next contest. Guys, wait up. Akatsuchi cried out, Guuuuuissss. Chapter 7, Fool's Goldenrod. The group entered the bustling city and were wide-eyed at the sight. Towering buildings, with a few smaller buildings that were used as houses, many people running back and forth between streets, Pokémon running in order to keep up with some of their trainers. It was really a busy city. Alright, let's go find the gym.
Naruto said. Kalava nodded as it followed its trainer. Wait, Naruto. Akatsuchi said, causing both fiery souls to pause in their quest for the Goldenrod gym. Why don't we look for the Pokémon Center first? We'll book a room and then we can go and look for the gym. It would be nice to plan ahead, Hinata added. The evolution Pokémon yipped.
Naruto and Kalava looked at each other and frowned.
Fine lava.
Both trainer and Pokémon followed the other two trainers and EV as they looked for the Pokémon Center. After a long few minutes, due to the fact that they had to go through a large amount of people rushing to get to their jobs or to the Goldenrod department store, they finally reached the red and white building. It was rather fancy looking too. A red neon sign with the word Pokémon Center in the same color. It was made of pure shatterproof glass, so even before they entered the center, they could see inside it.
Atop the center's curved roof was a rotating Pokeball.
/N, think of the Unova Pokémon Centers from Black and White, the games, not the anime, only with a giant rotating Pokeball atop it. Also, if some people are thinking, Goldenrod's not that big, the game says so. Well, if you put things in a certain view, such as if you were your player, Goldenrod would seem a lot bigger to you. After all, it is the Veilstone city of Johto. Upon entering the Pokémon Center, the three trainers gaped at the large amount of people already in it. This Pokémon Center was by far the largest one they had ever seen. The group walked towards the nurse Shizune that ran the place, and the black-haired woman smiled at them. Hello there, how may I serve you three today?
Shizune asked. Hello, Hinata greeted, we would like one room with 3 separate beds please.
Shizune quickly went through the computer and scanned the logging accounts for all those who had ordered rooms. She frowned when she looked back at the three and their 2 Pokémon. Gomen nasai, but it seems that we only have a few rooms with 2 beds. Due to the contest taking place here, many coordinators have already booked rooms. Shizune apologized. So does that mean T2O of us WW will have to share a bed? Hinata turned red at the thought of having to lie next to Naruto.
Shizune nodded. Sadly, yes.
Oh man, Naruto said, well, guess someone's sharing a bed. Akatsuchi narrowed his eyes at the blonde as he noticed the dejected look on Hinata's face.
Naruto, listen, here's the deal.
You and Hinata share a bed, because I'm obviously too big to sleep on a bed with another person, Akatsuchi explained. Besides, Hinata could always give her nice massages to you. Naruto thought for a while, sleep by himself and get no nice massage from his friend who had the hands of a goddess, or undergo the opposite.
Alright, I'll do it. Come on Hinata-chan, you're sleeping with me, Naruto said.
Hinata's eyes widened at Naruto's statement before she fainted at the rush of blood to her face. Naruto quickly caught her and lightly shook her.
Hinata-chan. /N, the fainting in Naruto going AGH. Hinata-chan is gonna be sort of a running gag for whenever Hinata faints. Shizune chuckled and poked Akatsuchi.
The large-nosed man turned and grinned at the woman.
You're a vile person, you know that? She joked. Aw, come on, who can deny the young love?
He replied. Once they finished setting up their things in their room, after Hinata woke up of course, the trio of trainers and 2 starter Pokémon headed for the streets of Goldenrod.
Now where's that gym? Naruto asked. Naruto-kun?
Hinata poked her index fingers together.
Naruto turned and his blue eyes focused on his blue black-haired friend. Hi, Hinata-chan?
I don't think I'll be able to go with you to the gym. I have to go and get some things for Eevee to prepare for the contest. Gomen nasai, she bowed in apology. Naruto frowned a little. He had really come to like Hinata's presence being there when he went to go battle. It somehow gave him drive, and he couldn't explain how or why.
Oh, okay, we'll have fun, he said, putting up a fake smile.
Hinata nodded, but looked back at him before running off with Eevee to go look for the department store.
I wonder if Naruto-kun is going to be okay? She thought.
She had seen through that fake smile the instant he put it up, and she felt bad for her blonde travel companion.
So, what about you, Akatsuchi? Or do you have things to do too? Naruto asked. Akatsuchi nodded. Yeah, sorry pal.
I have a friend here and I want to pay her a visit, Akatsuchi said. Naruto grinned widely at that and then raised his pinky. He drawled out the word to hint at what he was thinking. Akatsuchi blushed at that but shook his head and raised his arms in an X in front of him.
No, nothing like that. He announced, she's just a good friend.
You know that's what they all say, Naruto grinned.
Kalava the fire type agreed. Akatsuchi smirked at that.
So, what about you and Hinata then? You guys are good friends. Does that mean you two are secretly?
The rock-type trainer wiggled his pinky.
Naruto's face turned red at that.
Huh, what no? She's a good friend.
That's what they all say, Akatsuchi fired back, using Naruto's own quote against him. The blonde turned and glared as he saw his laughing partner roll on the ground in laughter.
ET2, Kalava? The volcano Pokémon paused before going back to laughing. Akatsuchi chuckled before ruffling Naruto's already messy hair. Don't worry, Naruto. I'm sure you'll find, after all, you're the future Johto champion, right?
The red-dressed hiker added.
Naruto nodded with a foxy grin. Damn straight, come on Kalava. The volcano Pokémon nodded and took off after the blonde as Akatsuchi walked off to look for his friend.
The blonde trainer and Kalava had no idea how to get around this large city, so the pair decided to just wing it and look for a giant building that would look like a Pokémon gym. Naruto scanned the city, turning left, right and every which way in order to try and find the Goldenrod City Gym in this large expanse of infrastructure. However, as he was walking he looked to see a man walk out of a rather medium-sized building with a dejected look on his face.
Hey, mister. Are you okay? Naruto asked. The man sighed and raised the empty suitcase that was in his hand and opened it.
I lost nearly all my coins in the Voltorb game in the casino.
I'm not going there anymore, so Blondie, why don't you take it? The man said. Naruto's sweat dropped. Isn't gambling illegal for people under 18 or something? Naruto asked.
The man laughed before shoving the coin case in Naruto's hands.
Naruto observed the suitcase.
It was completely black with a gold handle. It had about 20 or so gold tokens of some kind inside of it and it seemed to be the size of a large dictionary in terms of length.
Nah, don't worry about it.
It's just a little card-playing game, nothing like poker or anything like that, the man assured the blonde trainer.
Well, I'm off. Hopefully, you'll do better than I did, see ya Gaki. Naruto and Kalava watched the man run off before looking at each other. What do you say, Kalava? Wanna take a run at this game before going to the gym?
Kalava rose up on its hind legs and so that it could perform a shrugging action.
Quill, Kalava the volcano Pokémon. What do you mean it doesn't matter? Naruto asked before blinking.
I think I'm getting better at understand you.
Kalava smiled, Quill Kalava lava Quill.
I'm not that good, buddy, Naruto said, patting the volcano Pokémon, causing it to narrow its eyes at its trainer. Kalava the fire type walked into the casino with Naruto following it, holding the coin case in his hands. Upon entering, Naruto saw that the place was rather decent. A tiled room with a few leather couches here and there, and in the center of the room was an old man wearing a brown suit and fedora sitting at the table. The man was rather old-looking as he had a graying mustache and wrinkles on his face. The man was smiling to himself as he tossed a coin up and down in his hands. Naruto walked up to the man at the table.
Ohio, Mustache-san, I heard this was the place to play the Voltorb flip game? Naruto asked. The man nodded.
Yeah, sure, take a seat. Try your luck and maybe you can win something if you get enough points, the man said, not taking his eyes off the coin.
Would you mind explaining the rules of this game?
The man nodded, still not taking his eyes off the coin.
Sure thing, the aim of the game is to flip the cards on the table and avoid getting a Voltorb card.
The cards each have points numbers written on them.
1, 2, and 3. If you get a 1, you get 1 point, if you get a 2, you get 2, and if you get 3, you get 3 points.
After that, say you have just flipped a 2-point card on your first turn, depending on the second card you flip, your points will multiple by that number. So, say you flip a 2 and you flip a 3 after, you got a total of 6 points right there.
The more points you have, the better prizes you win. Capiche? Hi.
Then let's play. The man paused as he caught the coin and stared at Naruto, who was ready to play. Hey, you're just a kid. What are you doing in a place of gambling? The man who gave me this coin case said it wasn't really much of a gambling place since all you do is flip cards.
Now poker, that is a gambling game. Naruto smirked.
The mustached man's eye twitched.
You know, just because you don't know the game, I'm gonna let this slide.
But mark my words, once you run out of coins in that case, you're through. Blondie the Voltron flip game dealer said.
Naruto smirked and Kalava sat up on its hind legs to see its trainer play.
The dealer shuffled the cards before setting them out in a 5x5 square. Prepare to lose your coins, sucker.
The dealer laughed. 10 minutes later. You cheated. The dealer yelled.
Naruto smirked as he tallied up his points to about 500 and bought the Abra from the prize exchange table.
Nope, I'm just that good. This was fun, I might come back again. See ya, Mustache-san. Naruto waved as he and Kalava walked out with the psychic-type Pokemon's ball.
The Pokédex beeped as it's registered the new data on the Pokémon.
Abra the Psy Pokémon. A psychic-type Pokémon.
If it decides to teleport randomly, it evokes the illusion that it has created copies of itself. Once Naruto's little gamble with the mustached card dealer was over, he stored away the coin case in his backpack.
Naruto and Kalava continued their search for the gym.
He quickly spotted a large tower made of blue-black colored glass, and many satellite dishes and antennae were placed around the majority of the roofs of the tower. Maybe they will know where the gym is, Naruto wondered.
Kalava.
Well, probably is better than nothing at all, Naruto replied to his starter. The fire type and the blonde walked into the tall tower.
Hello? Naruto and Kalava stepped back in fright at the sight of a brown-haired woman.
She wore a pink dress with an aqua-colored scarf around her neck and pink high heels.
Hi, Naruto said nervously, I was wondering where the...
Welcome to Goldenrod City Radio Tower. Please come right this way. The woman didn't even give Naruto much of a choice as he was grabbed by his arm and dragged across the floor.
Kalava tilted its head in confusion at the behavior of the female human. The 2 humans and 1 Pokemon were suddenly placed in front of a desk.
The man at the desk sighed as he looked up.
Mimi, please tell me you didn't drag another person from outside to take my quiz. Again? The man asked.
Naruto looked at the woman, now identified as Mimi, as she blushed in embarrassment. Well, I might have, she answered, causing the man at the desk to sigh again.
Alright, okay young man. Here's the thing, I'm having a little quiz going on, and if you answer my questions correctly you will win a handy little prize. You have 1 minute to answer each question, the man explained. You up for it?
Sure, but after I need to ask you something, the man nodded. Fair enough, now let's begin, the man said as he pulled out a few flashcards from his pocket.
What is the evolved form of Bulbasaur? Ivysaur, obviously. Naruto answered the easy question. The man nodded and switched to the second card. Correct. Next question, who created the Pokédex?
Professor Sarutobi, renowned Pokémon professor from the Kanto region, Naruto replied.
Third question, this one is a multiple choice question. Fire beats grass, grass beats water, water beats ground. What does the ground-type Pokémon beat? Flying, bug, electric or ghost? Naruto smirked, electric.
The man nodded before pulling out the card for his fourth question. What rock-type Pokémon move is a move that is able to increase in strength as it repeatedly used?
Naruto opened his mouth, but paused as he began to think.
Rock-type move, repeatedly used, but it gains power during those repetitions. The man at the desk smirked. The plan always worked, give them a false sense of hope that they could get through the quiz easily, but by the time they reach the end, they
dropped the tougher questions on them.
Naruto's face was scrunched up in thought.
30 seconds, the man stated.
Naruto gritted his teeth as he continued to think back to his days that he was taught by Irika in class. He knew it, the move was on the tip of his tongue. 20 seconds, Naruto pounded his head, but then looked down when he saw Kalava pulling at his pants leg. Kalava curled up into a ball and began to roll around.
Naruto smirked. "Roll out," he stated. The man smirked.
"Good, that is the correct answer," the quizman said before taking out the card for his final, 5th question. There is a legend in Johto concerning the identity of a Pokémon able to travel through time.
Few have ever spoken its name. Luckily for you, I know the name of this Pokémon, so I am able to use this question. Now then, what is the name of that Pokémon? Naruto thought again. He remembered back in Ilex Forest when he, Hinata and Akatsuchi had helped the two kimono girls.
They had talked about such a Pokémon. It was a legendary Pokémon too, a mo great, I forgot, Naruto thought for a while. His brow began to gain a thin layer of sweat as he continued to rack his brain, looking for the answer within it.
You have 10 seconds, the quizman said.
Naruto thought for a while before looking at Kalava.
Kalava was lying down on the ground, bored out its mind. Its body was in the shape of a C.
Naruto frowned, but then his eyes widened.
See, he thought. So, Celebi. That's it. He yelled. It's Shalebi.
The quizman nodded as he packed away his cards. Well done.
You have passed my quiz.
Now as a prize you get this little radio card.
Naruto opened his hand to receive the small little chip. What's this do?
It allows for you to listen to the radio on your Pokér. Just insert it into the same places where you would insert the phone and map cards on your Pokér and Tada. You'll be able to listen to radio stations from this tower wherever you are, well except if you are out of range of our frequency of course. Naruto nodded. Arigato. He inserted the card and his Pokér beeped as a wireframe-shaped globe appeared on his Pokér screen. The radio started to play music before he began to hear a familiar voice.
Is that Professor Sarutobi? Naruto asked. The quizman nodded.
Hi, the professor does a little poetry here and there so he comes down to Goldenrod to broadcast them. He also gives little bits of information on Pokémon as well, the man explained as he saw Naruto switch off the radio. Naruto pocketed his Pokér before looking up at the man.
I almost forgot, where is the Goldenrod City Gym? Naruto asked.
The quizman looked at the young trainer and his Kalava, who had just woken up after Naruto had yelled out his answer for the Shalebi question.
Oh yes, right. The gym is near the edge of the city. Just head straight onto the main road, and keep going north.
You'll reach the gym in no time, it's a big building so you can't miss it, the quizman. Naruto thanked the man before running out the door with Kalava. Once they exited the radio tower, the two followed the man's instructions. They walked along the main streets of Goldenrod. It was about noon, so the streets were relatively clearer now due to the lower amounts of people and or Pokémon on the street. They continued heading straight up the brick street before stopping when they finally reached the large building.
It was rather plain looking, no fancy looks like Shino's or Shibi's gym.
It looked like a regular 2-story building, painted in a cream color and had a dome-shaped appearance much like the other gyms. On it was the symbol of the Pokémon League. A golden Pokeball with the words Pokémon League written across the halfway mark of the Pokeball. A shiny Pikachu sitting atop the Pokeball and looked as if it were waving due to the arm actually moving side to side. Below the symbol were the words Goldenrod City GYM. Looks like we're here, Naruto said.
Quilava, the volcano Pokémon sighed. Both trainer and partner Pokémon entered the large building.
The inside was large, just as the two had suspected. However, the layout of the gym was what caught their interest. It was so simple. There was just a regular battle fight, and after seeing Shibi's gym and Azalea, Naruto and Kalaba had instantly began expecting pre-challenges before they fought.
Hello? Naruto yelled out.
The sound of a door opening was heard to Naruto and Kalaba's left, and both looked to see a young woman walk out of the door.
Her clothing consisted of a dark pink and shoulderless GI-like shirt with loose arm warmers reaching her upper arms and light purple spandex shorts.
She also consisted of black low-heeled boots with an olive green tipping. She had 2 simple earrings covered by her hair. She had blue eyes and long red wavy maroon hair, which stretched down to her waist, and fair skin with a beauty mark under the left side of her lip. She looked to be around 19 years old.
Yes? The woman asked. Yeah, I'm Naruto Uzumaki. I'm here to challenge the gym leader.
Ah, a challenger, and a cute one at that, the woman winked, causing Naruto's face to flush.
Mumkoff, yeah, so are you the gym leader? Naruto asked.
The woman nodded. That I am the woman, said, brushing back her red locks. My name is Fuka, but you can call me Fuka-chan.
Naruto blushed once more. This woman. So, is there a pre-gym challenge like what Shibi-san does, or is it a plain battle like with Shino-san? Naruto asked.
Fuka shrugged. I don't really care for challenges, so it's a plain battle. 3-on-2 battle. A majority of my challengers tend to fail at beating my second Pokémon, so I like to give them a little chance, Fuka explained. Also, as an added bonus, my challengers get a kiss from yours truly if they win, though I should warn you. Naruto and Kalaba backed up a bit when they saw her hair suddenly flare up and a dark aura surrounded her. I get a bit feisty when I battle. Naruto's eyes hardened as she said that. Bring it on.
Ah, a man with no fear. I like that. She withdrew a pokeball from within her GI and twirled it on her index finger. Go Clefairy. She threw the pokeball.
Naruto looked as a small little fairy Pokémon came out of the pokeball. It was rather large as in fat, with round black eyes. Its mouth contained a few teeth, with 4 sharp canines. On its back was a pair of small wings and a curled-looking tail.
Clefairy, normal type. Ability Friend Guard, but that wouldn't do much considering this is a one-on-one. Naruto remembered the information on Clefairy. He took out a pokeball.
I wonder if dragon types are as strong as they say. Naruto threw the pokeball and the dragon type appeared in a flash of white light from the red and white sphere.
Draw, the dragon type cried out.
It looked around before spying Naruto and wrapping around his arm and snuggling against him.
Ah, but as cute as that is, please get it on the field. Her hair waved around. It reminded Naruto of how his mother's hair split off into 9 tails when she was angry.
Dratini, come on the field, Naruto goaded the baby Pokémon.
The serpent nodded before crawling off of its parent and onto the field, a fierce gaze in its eyes.
I never fought a dragon type, not since the time I tried to take on the champion.
You took on him? Naruto asked.
Yeah, lost miserably, both of them knocked out by his weakest Pokémon too. Anyways, let's go, Fuka said as she cracked her fingers. Clefairy double slap.
Clefairy rushed forth and lashed out, slapping Dratini multiple times across its face.
The dragon type teared up before crying out in anger. It went towards Clefairy and wrapped itself around Clefairy's body and began to squeeze. Yeah, okay, wrap attack works. Naruto scratched his cheek in confusion at Dratini's sudden lapse in behavior. Now use Twister.
Drayawayawa.
A large wind circulation system suddenly appeared out of nowhere.
The twister engulfed both Pokémon and Clefairy was sent soaring upwards before being spewed up as it reached the top of the twister. Clefairy floated down before rolling into a ball as it performed defense curl.
Alright, use double slap again.
Fuka commanded.
The normal type slapped Dratini across the face once, then appeared to the side and slapped it again. Another strike had its cheeks burning from the pain. A fourth and final double slap had it wailing on the ground as it tried to soothe the pain in its cheeks.
Dratini, come on.
Naruto cheered his newest team member, use Twister. The dragon type nodded and then unleashed the powers of the storm.
The giant twister made its way towards Clefairy. Dodge it and roll on the ground using defense curl. Fuka commanded. Clefairy nodded before rolling along the ground out of the way of the twister before heading towards the dragon type. Slap it back with your tail. Naruto commanded. Dratini twisted and slapped the rolling pink sphere away from its location and Clefairy flew back. Dratini panted and Naruto could tell that it was already tired. Being a baby Pokémon had its stamina very low, but for a baby Pokémon to last this long meant that it was very strong. Dratini, come back. Dratini nodded before slithering back to its master. Naruto took out another Pokeball and threw it out. Alright, go Heracross. Naruto called out the dual-type Pokémon which landed with a loud slam on the field. Heracross the blue beetle let out a cry as it faced off against Clefairy. Oh, smart move. Alright, Clefairy sing. Aerial Ace. Naruto shouted. Just as the fairy Pokémon was about to sing, Heracross had just about completed the loop-de-loop and crashed into Clefairy. Clefairy. Fuka yelled in alarm at seeing her Pokémon take on the damaging move. I may be young, but I know my way around the battlefield. Sing, a move that prevents a Pokémon from attacking by putting them to sleep. Ways to counter: use speed to reach the Pokémon before it sings or have a Pokémon with insomnia as its ability. Naruto informed his opponent. Alright, Heracross, use Brick Break. Heracross's arms glowed white before slamming a powerful punch to the face on Clefairy. Heracross then spun and crashed its elbow into Clefairy's face and then spun around again and caught Clefairy on its horn. Using the horn, it launched the fairy Pokémon into the sky. The horn Pokémon spread its wings and flew up after the pink Pokémon before flipping to build up momentum. Heracross let out a cry before performing a downward chop. The attack crashed down on Clefairy's head, sending it to the ground. Clefairy. The normal type met the ground with smoke cloud forming upon its contact with it. Heracross landed and smirked as the smoke cleared and revealed a twitching Clefairy. The harsh blows from the fighting type move causing it to faint. Clefairy. Fuka cried out in shock. She quickly held up its Pokeball and returned it in a flash of red. Well, Naruto-kun, you did well, but can you face my final Pokémon? Fuka threw her Pokeball in the air and in a flash of white light a large pink cow appeared. It had brown spots on its back, black leathery skins surrounded its face and went along its back. Miltank the cow Pokémon mood. Another normal type, Heracross Brick Break. The dual-type horn Pokémon flew at Miltank and raised its glowing white arm. Heracross flew up into the air before diving down, positioning the arm for Miltank's head. Fuka chuckled at the blatant move. Catch it, she stated. Heracross and Naruto were shocked when they Miltank raise a hoof and caught the glowing white arm. Heracross redirect. Naruto commanded. Heracross quickly leaped into the air and flipped, lashing out with its foot catching Miltank in the face before landing on the ground as the milk cow Pokémon's grip was loosened. Heracross then spun and landed a powerful uppercut using Brick Break. Miltank fell backwards from the blow. Nice counter, Miltank milk drink. Fuka commanded. Miltank excreted some of its milk and used its healing properties, drinking the milk from its hoof, to heal itself. Miltank was then healed before it leaped into the air. Stomp. Fuka commanded. Heracross dodge, then use Aerial Ace. Naruto commanded. Heracross flew into the air and performed the loop-de-loop, avoiding Miltank as it descended, before diving down leaving a trail of white behind it. Miltank, execution by kiss. Fuka commanded. Miltank nodded before holding out its hooves and used its high level of strength to catch Heracross by the horn before swinging the dual type into the ground. Miltank then raised Heracross to eye level and kissed Heracross between the eyes. The male bug/fighting type suddenly gained hearts in its eyes as Miltank used its variation of Attract. Miltank then grabbed Heracross and performed a suplex, causing Heracross to release a cry of pain. Now throw it sky high and follow up with rollout.
Miltank complied with its trainer's command and threw up Heracross.
Heracross fly, spread your wings. Naruto yelled, but he gaped when he saw Heracross eyes become hearts once more.
Miltank then ran forward and curled into a ball before rotating. The rolling pink wheel raced across the battlefield and at just the right moment, struck with the rock-type move. Heracross flew back up before descending in time to be hit by another rollout. As Heracross descended one last time, Miltank used the speed from its rotation to leap into the air and grabbed Heracross before flipping as the two Pokémon descended.
Miltank!
The Milk Cow Pokémon cried out as it slammed Heracross into the ground in a makeshift body slam.
/N, it is not the actual body slam attack.
Once the small dust cloud that formed cleared, Naruto gritted his teeth as he looked at his twitching Pokémon. The dual type had fainted from the powerful string of blows.
Heracross, return.
Naruto pulled out his Pokeball and a red stream of light latched onto Heracross, converting it into energy and then sucking it into the Pokeball.
Naruto looked at Dratini, who was now asleep.
The young Pokémon was much too tired to fight, so Naruto turned to the only Pokémon able to take on that bovine monstrosity.
Quilava! The volcano Pokémon leaped onto the battlefield, flames ignited. Quick attack! The yellow and blue Pokémon rushed towards the opposing pink one. Miltank, dodge! Fuka ordered.
The large pink cow stepped aside, but was caught off guard at the sudden turn that Quilava took and slammed full force into the udder of the Miltank.
Miltank skidded backwards from the blow and clutched its udders. Miltank mill!
The Pokémon snorted like an angry Tauros and charged.
Stomp attack! Fuka cried out. Miltank jumped and descended upon Quilava. Quick attack to dodge and then use Ember.
The volcano Pokémon complied and used the upgraded speed from the use of the attack to appear behind Miltank and fire a storm of small fireballs at Miltank.
Miltank drop!
The Milk Cow Pokémon fell onto its stomach and ducked beneath the fireballs before getting back up and rushing Quilava.
Rollout! Fuka cried.
Miltank rolled on the ground, becoming the dreaded pink wheel of doom.
Quilava, dodge and then use Ember.
Quilava performed the act and launched the small fireballs at its opponent, causing the normal type to skid along the battlefield from the blow.
Stomp!
The red-haired gym leader yelled.
Miltank raised its hoof as it reached Quilava and stamped down.
Quilava rolled on the ground to avoid before performing quick attack and slammed into Miltank's face.
Now flame wheel. Quilava's flames increased in intensity before spinning into a wheel of fire. The fire attack crashed into Miltank, sending the normal type flying. Miltank backflipped and regained its footing. Miltank ran into a rollout attack. Match it with flame wheel. Naruto said.
Quilava performed the attack and rushed towards the large cow. Both attacks collided before they separated and clashed again. The clash occurred several times before they finally met at a stalemate in the center of the battlefield.
Both Pokémon struggled for dominance, and in an explosion of flame and smoke the struggle ended. Quilava! Miltank!
Both gym leader and challenger stared at the smoke cloud as the dust began to die down. Once the cloud cleared, Fuka frowned while Naruto gritted his teeth in rage as he saw Quilava panting, its flames outed. The fire type glared at the wheezing Miltank.
Miltank, stomp! Use quick attack!
Miltank raised its hoof and stamped down on Quilava, causing the fire type to cry out in pain, but it ignited the flames on its head, causing the Milk Cow Pokémon to back up from the fire before being smacked in the chest by the full body tackle from Quilava.
Miltank, execution by kiss.
Miltank grabbed Quilava and held it there, grabbing the volcano Pokémon by the side of its head before kissing it on the nose.
Quilava's eyes became hearts and the fire type became dazed. No, Quilava!
Naruto yelled as he saw Miltank perform a suplex and slam Quilava on its back, earning a cry of pain from the Pokémon.
Miltank then performed Stomp, slamming its hoof down on the downstarter of the blonde trainer before throwing it upwards.
Quilava's flames were out, its eyes closed from the pain.
Now roll out, finish it. Fuka cried out.
The Miltank nodded as it rolled along the ground to build up some speed before it was to hit the descending Pokémon.
Naruto clenched his hands into fists. Quilava Flame Wheel. Naruto cried out. Quilava's eyes snapped open, the attraction wearing off.
Its eyes burned with a fire unlike any other, the flames on its head and rear reignited. The flames were more intense, however.
Alright, Blaze ability. Naruto smirked.
Quilava rotated and slammed into the rotating pink blob that was Miltank. Flamewheel and Rollout collided in a powerful clash, causing a shockwave to reverberate across the battlefield. Both attacks clashed before an explosion resulted. Quilava and Miltank flew back towards their respective trainers before rotating again and heading towards each other. However, due to the larger body mass of Miltank, it was able to hit with a much larger force. After all, force is mass times acceleration. Quilava let out a cry as the super effective attack struck it and it fell to the ground. Miltank stopped rolling and panted, falling onto the ground in exhaustion, exhausted, but conscious. Which I wish I could say was the same for Quilava. Quilava was unconscious, the flames gone from its head and rear. Bruises and dust covered its body and the most prominent bruise was shown on its back where the rollout had made its mark.
Quilava!
Naruto ran towards his starter and clutched it in his arms.
His most powerful Pokémon, defeated. Hey, Naruto. You still got one Pokémon left, though I doubt Dratini would be able to handle Miltank. Fuka said. Naruto gritted his teeth and bent his head low. He held Quilava close to him before standing up. He recalled Dratini to its Pokeball and turned away from the red-haired gym leader. He unconsciously dug his nails into Quilava's fur out of anger for his own stupidity. He let a young Pokémon fight instead of one of his more experienced Pokémon. He could have sent out Mareep for its static ability, Pidgeotto for its speed or maybe Wooper for a high defense, but no, he was arrogant and thought that a dragon type would be able to handle it all. He let Heracross become defeated because he underestimated his opponent's Pokémon and his prized Pokémon, his starter, his partner, his friend, had went down. You left you and your partner wide open for a counterattack. You're not invincible. Naruto held back the tears as he remembered Kakashi's and Akatsuchi's words to him after his loss to the silver-haired trainer, and then Naruto walked out and turned back to Fuka, saying the two words that one would never have thought to have been uttered by the blonde. I forfeit. Goldenrod City Pokémon Center. After healing his Pokémon, Naruto and Quilava became extremely depressed as they thought about the loss. Quilava's physical wounds were healed, but the blow to its pride would take more time to heal. Naruto and Quilava entered the room that Akatsuchi and Hinata had booked. The two travel companions smiled at Naruto's entrance. Hey, Naruto, how was the... Akatsuchi paused when he saw the expression on both trainer and Pokémon. Hinata frowned and walked up to the blonde. And Naruto-kun? Naruto didn't reply to the female trainer. He fell onto the bed and Quilava lay down atop its trainer. VVEV jumped onto the bed and nudged the larger Pokémon, but Quilava made no effort to respond. Hinata, Eevee Akatsuchi spoke, causing both to turn to him. It's obvious what happened. Leave them alone, how's about we go into the cafeteria and something to eat? We'll bring back some ramen for Naruto. The two females looked at their depressed friends, but left the room with Akatsuchi. Hinata glanced back at Naruto as he shifted and hugged his starter. Naruto-kun. Hinata closed the door. Naruto sighed when he heard the door close. Quilava? Quill? The volcano Pokémon replied. Do you think we'll be able to beat that Miltank of hers? Naruto asked. Quilava frowned. Quill la. I don't know either. Naruto sighed before he and Quilava fell asleep.
After a few hours of sleep, Naruto had gotten up to find Akatsuchi and Hinata were still in the cafeteria, so he and his partner decided to take a little walk.
Naruto and Kalava looked at the bright lights of the city. Goldenrod certainly was a beautiful sight at night.
They admired the large flashing neon signs on some of the buildings and walked into a small diner that allowed Pokémon no bigger than a Miltank to enter. Miltank both thought as they took a seat at one of the booths. A waitress walked up to them and smiled.
"Hello, young man. Do you want anything?" the woman asked. Naruto looked over the menu on the table.
Just some vegetable fried rice for me. Oh, and if you have extra charcoal or something that is used as fuel for fire, give it to him, Naruto said.
The waitress nodded.
Vegetable fried rice and charcoal coming up, the waitress relayed the order to herself before leaving.
Naruto and Kalava sighed.
A set of footsteps paused when they reached the pair's table. You look a bit downy, Kalava and Naruto looked up to see the one-eyed trainer.
"Kakashi?" Naruto exclaimed. Kakashi ran his fingers through his hair as he sat down. "What are you doing here?"
"I'm going to eat, obviously," Kakashi said as he called over a waiter and ordered the waiter left. Kakashi turned back to Naruto.
"So, care to tell me what's on your mind?" the silver-haired man asked. Naruto and Kalava looked at each other.
"We lost," he said. "I was overconfident, I underestimated my opponent and I lost." Kakashi nodded.
"I see, Hyuga-chan's Miltank was it?" he asked. Naruto and Kalava nodded. "How'd you guess?"
"Many trainers who come here often lose to Miltank. Clefairy is easy once you take it down quickly and before it uses metronome, but Miltank is a tough Pokémon. Its strength coupled with the speed brought out during a roller usually takes down most trainers." Kakashi reached over and tapped Naruto on the shoulder.
"Don't feel bad about it," Kakashi said. "Quel Kalava lave." The volcano Pokémon agreed with Kakashi. "True, but I let you guys down. I shouldn't have underestimated Miltank." "Quilava Kalava la." "What do you mean it's not my fault? Did you not feel how badly you got hurt out there?" Naruto growled at his own Pokémon.
Quilava's sharp teeth bit down on Naruto's hand.
"Quilava quil, Quilava lava lav quila." Naruto looked down and sighed. "Yeah, but... Quill. Hey. Quill. Let me. Quill. Finish, Quilava. Quill." Kakashi laughed at the pair before the waiter arrived with their food. Once the waiter left, the conversation resumed.
"You should listen to your Pokémon," Kakashi stated.
"Yeah, I know," Naruto said as he stroked Kalava as it ate its charcoal. You are actually one of the few trainers I've met that can actually understand their Pokémon though," Kakashi added. Naruto shrugged. "I'm not all that good, though I am getting better if I can understand Kalava to that degree." Naruto grinned sheepishly. The silver-haired trainer nodded. "Kakashi, how did you get so strong?"
the blonde trainer asked T8.
Kakashi thought for a while.
"Well, actually I was always a good trainer. After all, my father was a gym leader and I am a member of the Elite Four," Kakashi said.
Naruto's eyes widened as he looked at Kakashi. "Kakashi, Hataki? Wait a minute, Hataki, as in Tsukumo Hataki from Vermilion? The White Fang of Kanto, and you're an Elite Four member?" The silver-haired man nodded. "Yup, too laid back to be an Elite Four, right? Well, I'm just that way. My father was strict, so I became laid back to help relax myself.
Tsukumo taught me nearly everything I knew, but then as I went out on my journey, I met another man. The greatest trainer I had ever met," Kakashi said with a smile.
"What was his name?"
Naruto asked. "Maybe I can try and find him and he can teach me." Kakashi shook his head.
"You'll find out soon enough. In fact, you remind me of him." As for the second part, sorry, but he disappeared for a while. I tried to find my sensei when he disappeared, but I could never find him, the one-eyed man sighed.
Naruto's shoulders fell at that before Kakashi got up and walked over to Naruto and ruffled his hair. Listen here Naruto, you're a great trainer and I'm sure someone once told you, with losing you can become better at winning. Naruto's eyes widened before narrowing.
How do you know my Oka-chan?
Kakashi chuckled.
It's kind of obvious you're Kushina-san's son.
You both have the same attitude. While I'm off, Kakashi glanced back as he secretly placed a note on his plate so Naruto could see it.
He'll be a great trainer, just like you, Minato-sensei.
Wait, you didn't finish your... Naruto and Kalava gained confused looks as they saw the empty plate, but there was something on the plate, minus the money for the food of course. Naruto picked up the piece of paper that lay on the plate and raised it up.
Route 34-8:00 AM sharp. Don't be late.
In the corner of the note was a small chibi drawing of Kakashi giving a thumbs up, causing both trainer and Pokemon to sweat drop, but then realized what the man was saying.
He's going to train us.
He turned to Kalava.
Quilava!
The two laughed in happiness before running out to the Pokemon Center to go and get a nice rest for tomorrow.
For tomorrow, they train with a member of the Elite Four.
That's it for this reading. Hit like and subscribe for a free ticket pass going to the different worlds of anime fanfiction.
Looking forward to having you on board again.